Hi, I'm Julian from Belgium. Thank you for agreeing
Nice
to
to
talk
meet
to
you,
me.
Julian.
Hi. First of all, congratulations on the movie. It's
Thank
quite an
you.
amazing achievement. You're
Oh,
excellent.
oh, thank you.
You've done. I think you've done grand to an American icon and an American hero. So you've came through. You've done it.
Thank you so much.
um, First question. You've mastered the perfect eye, mouth, hip movements of Mr. Elvis Presley. Did you watch any old recordings of Mr. Presley prior to filming?
Prior to filming,
Yeah,
do you mean prior to getting the part or prior to filming?
prior to filming. Yeah.
Oh, prior to filming, yeah, I watched everything. I watched a million times. It was all I did for a year and a half before I started shooting.
Okay.
There wasn't a day that went by or a waking second that went by that I wasn't somehow obsessing about either his voice, his movement, or his, inner life, So it was, that was all I did. Yeah.
Was it hard to develop his particular speech pattern? Because you're from California, he was from
Yeah.
Mississippi, so let's say quite apart.
Yeah, it was quite a task because I didn't want to ever fall into the caricature of Elvis. And
Yeah.
and there's so many impersonations that we've heard over the years, and I never wanted to do an impersonation. I wanted it to feel like this is a human, and this is so for me. Uh, it, I kind of I didn't know any other way but to uh, I didn't want to only feel his voice when I was doing a scene. So it for me it was I'd order coffee in the morning in his dialect and in his voice, and then it helped me at a certain point. Then it started to just become, it felt like my voice, and so then I could move laterally into it rather than feeling like I had to step up into his
Oh, yeah.
voice.
So it became very natural to you. It
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
your own voice. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but throughout the entire thing, the thing that's tricky is that his voice changed a lot over the years, and
Yeah.
and we were filming out of sequence,
Hmm.
so it's not just one voice. So when I was in the night before and when I was in hair and makeup, I would, I had certain key recordings and things that I would listen to over and over, and between the scene I would just be listening over and over, and it was these touchstones that I could constantly come back to and remember all the homework, and it would kind of bring it all together.
Perfect, perfect. Now, do you have a favorite Elvis song of yourself,
I get
or?
asked this all the time.
Sorry about
I
that. Sorry
don't.
for the cliche question.
No, no, no. I don't have one. It's so hard. He recorded so many songs, and so it depends on the day. I really I love his performance of Polk Salad Annie in
Yeah,
1970.
that's
It's
a good one.
just glorious and so fun to watch. I will never get tired of that. And sometimes I'm in the car and I just pop that song on, and it brings me so much joy.
Final question because I have to wrap it up. It's been almost 2 years without cinema, sadly, COVID-wise. Why do you think we need to watch Elvis on the biggest screen possible? What makes it such a perfect cinema movie?
It really comes from the combination of the larger than life aspect of Elvis's life and the cinematic language that Baz Luhrmann tells in this film, and so it really is. Baz doesn't make films that aren't spectacles, and the sound in this film. You want to watch it with the best possible
Yeah.
speakers on the biggest possible screen, and it was meant for the big screen. And so I also think at this time where we've had so many months without being able to watch a movie in the cinema, it's a beautiful thing to get to be with a ton of strangers in a dark room, sit down without phones, and really experience something that was intended to entertain you and make you feel something and bring you the life of this extraordinary man. So I really hope people get to go watch it in the theater.
Thank you, Mr. Butler. I have to wrap it, but thank you for your time and
Thank you.
congratulations on the performance. You
Thank
knocked
you,
it out of
sir.
the park. Hello, Miss DeJonge.
Hello, how are
Hi,
you?
I'm Julian from Belgium. Hi, thank you for talking to me.
Thank you for coming.
I just saw the movie last week. I really loved it. It's a work of art. It's great. It's you should be really proud of yourself and your colleagues and the work you've done. Um, did you have the chance to watch any old recordings of Elvis and Priscilla for inspiration prior to the shooting?
Yeah, for sure. One of the first things I was sent when I got up to the Gold Coast, which is where we shot the film, was a movement reel, basically, which was a combination of all of these old home videos that Baz and his team had sort of put together of them on old Super 8 cameras around the house. Yeah, they were very, very, very playful videos, which I hadn't seen them yet, but from reading her books and whatnot, it was great to sort of see it, not in person, but to see it on video. And it was a great inspiration for the playfulness that me and Os wanted to bring to the screen. Yeah.
Did you have a chance to talk to Miss Priscilla herself, or?
I mean, not during the filming of the film. With COVID and everything, it was a bit tricky.
Yeah.
And obviously we were in Australia and it was just it just didn't really work out, but we did get to meet a couple months ago at the Met, which was incredible. She came with us in Prada and obviously she was in Cannes to support us, and she said beautiful things. So we're all very excited to have her on board.
Yeah, it must be weird to actually meet someone who you've played on screen.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, I wasn't really sure how it was going to go. I think whenever you're taking on or stepping into somebody else's shoes on a film, I think with this sort of scale, there's a lot of trepidation. And I think that, yeah, I was definitely scared. You know, you want to do right by that person. And I think when you spend a lot of time empathizing with somebody, you really care about them. And I think it was a bit strange to meet somebody who I'd never met, but felt like I knew for so long. But yeah, she's been so incredibly supportive, and we sat next to each other at Cannes and were able to watch the film together. So it was, yeah, it was a really, really beautiful experience.
Once in a lifetime. Now it's been almost 2 years without cinema visits. It's a sad occasion with the COVID and the pandemic. Do you know what according to you, what makes Elvis the perfect cinema movie? Why should we watch it on the biggest screen possible?
Well, selfishly, I think this is one of the best films that I've seen in a long time. And I know
I agree.
Right? But it truly, truly is. I think that it's such an explosion of color and excitement and music and love. You know, this film is as much about America and music as it is about Elvis. You know, I think it's a story about greed. It's a story about jealousy. It's a story about love between people, between Elvis and his fans, between Elvis and Black music, between Elvis and the world. I think that, you know, as well, that combination with Baz Luhrmann being our captain, our director.
Yeah.
It's a film that you can't sit and watch, you know, while you're sitting on your phone and watching it on your laptop. It's just such an experience. It's like a roller coaster. I think that this is one of Baz's best films. I melt whenever I talk about it. I think it's fantastic. And the only way to see it is in the cinema. You know, it's a communal experience too. I think that cinema has really, it's been out of our lives for a minute. And I think that, you know, there's a real hole that we can all sort of feel. And I think this film is a fantastic opportunity to go and experience something great and have a good time. And also, you know, have Elvis reintroduced to the people.
Indeed. To a younger audience. Yeah,
Exactly.
sure. Now, Mr. Luhrmann, he co-wrote the script. Did he allow for improvisation? Could you bring something of your own to the table?
Yeah. I mean, Baz was fantastic with his openness, I think, to ideas. I think I'm definitely an ideas person. I usually come with a lot of thoughts. Whether or not, you know, directors take them is completely up to them. But Baz was great. I mean, some of the improv that we did actually made it onto the screen, which was a real pleasant surprise to see. But no, he's super very collaborative. Incredibly, he's very curious as well as a director, which is sometimes can be rare. I feel like, particularly because he's also an ideas man himself. And he's also, has been very successful. Yeah. He's incredibly open and very receptive, which I really, really appreciated.
Now you're an Australian actress. You're a young woman. Did you grow up with Elvis's music? Did you know him? Were you a fan?
You know, the beauty about Elvis is that although he never truly left America, apart from Germany, he was all over the world. You know, his reach was so far beyond the horizon that he thought it was. You know, I think, I grew up listening to Elvis, and my parents used to play him all through the house growing up. So yeah, I was very, very familiar with his songs.
Do you have a favorite song?
I love Blue Moon. It's one, I think I hadn't heard it until I really dove into Elvis. But ever since, yeah, it's been my favorite since the start. And Bossa Nova Baby, because the pace.
Yeah, sure. That's a great one. Yeah, I just you do an amazing job. Rest assured. But I just hope that the audience will appreciate it as much as you do, and as much as you poured your heart and soul into it. And I just hope it comes through. But I hope the audience will also appreciate it.
Me too. I mean, honestly, this film, Baz works in. He really pours his heart and soul into every film that he makes, and I think the people that he attracts to his films are also really, really hard workers. You have Austin sort of at the helm, who's again pouring his heart and soul into this, which is obviously so evident through his performance. Same with Tom, but same with everybody else. I think this movie, the backbone of this film was love and respect for his legacy. And in my opinion, and I hope other people's as well, it really shines through.
Okay.
So yeah.
Sadly, I have to wrap it up, but thank you once more and congratulations on the movie. Great job.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Hi, Mr. Luhrmann. Hi, I'm Julian.
Hey, Julian.
I'm from Belgium.
Sorry, you caught me stretching.
That's okay. Just stretch all you want. Congratulations on the movie. It's amazing. I saw it last week. It's really, you knocked it out of the park. You've done an American icon proud.
You know what? Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I really do.
I can feel the love, the care, the respect in your movie. I think it's safe to say you were a fan of Elvis even before you decided to make the movie, right?
I was a fan as a kid. But then I went on to Bowie and other artists and stuff like that. And then but he was always there. And my dear friend Craig Pearce was talking last night on the stage, and he was reminding me that I talked a lot about Elvis. And, Craig was always, well, I don't really get him. But I think I just recognized the symbology of Elvis. And I didn't set out to make a biopic so much as an understanding of where we are now through looking at America in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. And Elvis was at the center there somewhere in all of those moments, good, bad, and ugly,
Indeed. It's been almost 2 years without cinema, sadly. What do you think makes Elvis the perfect cinema movie? Why do we need to watch it on the biggest screen possible?
Well, one thing, I make theatrical movies. I always have.
You do.
And yeah, and I mean, look, I've cuddled up with my doona and my gin and tonic and watched on a phone, a streamer, and that's good. But that's a singular experience. The theatre, the cinema, is not singular, and therefore it's not lonely. And every single person in a movie house can be a stranger, and for but a few hours can feel not lonely if they all laugh or moved or jive along to, or walk out feeling like they've collectively experienced something. And I felt it in Cannes. I mean, the standing ovation aside, right, there was a hunger in Cannes to commune, to be with people. There's how we live and why we live, and then there's what we live for. And what we live for is to feel alive. And that's what the cinema can do. It can make you feel alive.
I agree. Final question. Your movie barely touches upon Elvis's own movie career. Was that a conscious decision? Because you could have had some fun with, let's say, movie within a movie or breaking the fourth wall, but you didn't.
I mean, look, there's so much I couldn't do. I did shoot a much longer movie, and I had to layer it and find ways of compressing, as I call it. But I did touch upon it in this way. The final scene in the movie, he truly said that. He says to Priscilla, I'm almost 40, Scylla. Almost 40, can you believe that? And I've never done anything that anyone will remember me for. I've never made that really good movie. And she says, well, what about Star is Born? Oh, the Colonel. And, if you look at Elvis in King Creole, I recommend anyone who doesn't know Elvis, go see King Creole. He's actually kind of really good. You think he could actually have been...
He was a good actor.
Yeah,
I love Follow That Dream, for example.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Like, I think that that was absolutely his greatest feeling of failure. Yeah.
Indeed.
But I just think the real truth is he becomes the highest paid actor in Hollywood. It's a bubble. So I had to treat that as a bubble because I really wanted to get him... I wanted him to go from being taken away from all of his involvement in rock and roll, black music, him being isolated in Hollywood with money, a bubble, and then get to the fact that suddenly the Beatles come along and he's irrelevant, because that's the drama.
That's his personal drama. Okay, sir, sadly I have to wrap it up. If I never talk to you again, thank you for Romeo and Juliet, thank you for The Great Gatsby, and thank you for Elvis. It's really a masterpiece, so you can be proud of yourself. You've done it. You've made it.
Thanks so much, man.
The greatest show on earth.